Yes, good morning and welcome to Know Your Right, our legal program on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria, and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos, transmitting live from the Diocesan Media Center, 29 Marina, Lagos. Today is the 29th day of November, 2024. Yes, and you're welcome. Something is happening. Something has been happening since 25th of November, and it is called 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. And in that, they said in every 10 minutes, a woman is killed. So there is no excuse. And this morning, we want to talk about the topic, no excuse for violence against women and girls. And of course, Barrister Cynthia Chelotam Ibe. She's a legal advocate and consultant on child's rights. Barrister, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about what informed the 16 days of activism first?
Okay. We all know women's rights issues has been on the front burner for a while, since the Beijing Convention. And so every year is being marked from the 25th of November to the 10th of December. And the 10th of December, being the Human Rights Day, closes up the whole event. And the whole essence is to, keep bringing up the conversation and to encourage people to end gender-based violence against women and girls. Okay.
Now, sometimes, let me ask you a question a listener asked me. I said it off. Somebody said, why do we lay more emphasis on women and girls? Male gender, are they not abused also? Or are there no violence against them?
There are violence against men and boys.
Okay.
But I think because of our uniqueness as women, I think, and going over the years, if you see the series of events, you see that women have been sidelined. And because of patriarchy also, women are seen as second-class citizens. So what better way to push women's issues forward if not to, create certain times that we can celebrate women, that way making their voices being heard in the society.
Okay, now let's talk about the topic. This year's topic, no excuse for violence against women and girls. Has there been excuses why there has been violence against them before?
Yes, there are several excuses.
You
see, when a girl walks down the street, they say it's because of the way she's dressed. And probably it was because of how she appeared that she must have seduced the man. So a lot of excuses. You see, when people are being abused at the IDP camps, they say, it's because those armies that are going to the IDP camps are not going with their wives. Probably if they were going with their wives, they would not have chance to look at the people they are supposed to be protecting and preserving their rights. So a lot of excuses have been done. So I think having this theme for this year is a firm stand and saying that, no, we need to end this thing. Because most people believe that, gender-based violence cannot be totally eliminated or eradicated. But what I feel with words like this, firm decisions like this, it begins to change our mindset that this thing, we need to put an end to it. Hence the theme.
Okay. Now, moving further, in that team, they said in every 10 minutes, is this in Nigeria or globally, in every 10 minutes, a woman, a girl is abused?
It's a global statistics. Yes.
So now,
because it's the 16 days of activism is a global affair. It's not just a Nigerian affair.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, on that 25th, I saw even the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He led a walk for these 16 days of activism. Now, after that day, the noise have ended. Just there. Just that the lawyers are the ones marking it. Are there things we need to do more? Or is the NBA collaborating with other agencies to sensitize people on this? Or what has been on the front burner?
I think not just the lawyers that are marking the 16 days of activism, but I think there are a series of events going on now. It's just that maybe women events are going, a lot of women events are going on right now. Like the LOI conference was yesterday, and the whole target is to empower women.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to bring in the theme of this 16 days of activism. So I think any conference or events going on now should be an opportunity to stress the importance of ending gender-based violence.
Okay, now,
not just having the events for funfair or for, to just have an event, but to stress the need that we need to eliminate and end gender-based violence.
Now, after this sensitization, and let's talk about the consequences. What are the consequences? Because some earlier this year, I've read even inside the police station, a girl was abused by an officer who was supposed to protect her. Now, let's talk about the consequences. What are these consequences? Because when we're talking about no excuse to it, there must be consequences. What are the consequences so that our people can learn?
Of course, like in Nigeria, we have the VAP Act, Violence Against Persons Prohibitions Act, and we have the Domestic Violence Law of Lagos State. We also have the Child Rights Act, as well as the Child Rights Law of Lagos State. And we have the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, as well as other NGOs like FIDA, that is the voice, as you can see, Voice for Women and Children. Mm-hmm. There are other NGOs. We have RAP, that's Women's Right and Health Project. We have the Reti Resource Center. We have WARIF, Women at Risk Foundation. They are even going to have a walk next week, Saturday. So, and the whole essence is to keep advocating for the elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls. So the consequences are there. We have the laws. We have our sexual and domestic and sexual violence court at Ikeja. And when you go there, you would see that perpetrators are being brought to book. They are being punished for their offenses. It's not just a family affair or a casual thing here, especially in Lagos State. The Lagos State government is really doing a lot. The Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, powered by the Executive Secretary, who is Mrs. Lola Vivor Adeni, is really doing a lot. So, and you can see in September, they had this, not in my Lagos. They always stress it every year. So there's a lot of advocacy by CSOs and government officials emphasizing on the need to end this gender-based violence. All we're encouraging people is to speak up. Because most times when these perpetrators are carrying out the act, people are not speaking up. Mm-hmm. They're saying, I don't want to end my marriage. I don't want the father of my children to be prosecuted. But harms are being carried out. You see a father defile 3 of his children and everything is shredded in secrecy. Because, I don't want to live. What will people say? But damages have been done to the lives of these girls, who in turn would either damage other children because they don't receive proper care, or, not be able to fit in properly in the society. Same as the women who are also being abused.
Okay, we'll talk about what do I do if I'm abused when we come back from this break. Just keep listening to us. You're still on to Know Your Rights, our legal program on Lagoon Radio, your number 1 online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. Keep listening to us. We'll be right back. Yes, you're welcome back. You're still tuned to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. You still know your right, your Lego program on Lagoon Radio. Download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and X, LagoonRadio.NG. And for your information, the program is live on YouTube. You can just click to YouTube and watch the show. We are also live on Facebook, Lagoon Radio NG. Yes, and we are talking about no excuse for violence against women and girls. Of course, Barrister Cynthia Ibe. She's a legal advocate and consultant on child's rights. She's so passionate about especially the girl child. So that's why she's here. We are talking about this no excuse for violence against women. And for your information, on the 10th of December, there will be a grand finale of the 16 days of activism at the law school complex. Yes. Some of the speakers will be there, human rights activists, they will be there to educate you on most of these things. So now, let's go back to, just like you said, some women or some girls, they are afraid to speak up, especially when they are abused. Now, for someone who has been abused, what will that person do? What can she do?
For someone who has been abused, there are NGOs to reach out to. Like I mentioned, we have the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. Their office is at Alausa.
Okay.
And then you have NGOs. You have FIDA, International Federation of Women Lawyers. We have 5 branches in Lagos State.
Okay.
We have one in Makoko. And then we have at Badagry, Ekpe, and Ikeja. We also have at Ikorodu. We have the Women at Risk initiative. I'm sorry, WARIF. If you Google, you can Google WARIF. They are at Yaba. And they offer free counseling and medical services for women who have been abused, and also for children who have been sexually abused. They have a clinic at the Checheyara Foundation that's located at Bagada. So, and you also have the OPD, Office of Public Defender in Sulere. You have WATC at Ikeja also. You have different NGOs here in Lagos that you can, walk up to them and express your concerns and say, oh, this is what has happened to me. But you can also go to the police station. You can go to the family support units at any police station. Don't just walk up to the receptionist at the police station or just any police officer you see at the desk. Ask for a family support unit or ask for a human rights desk. Okay, because most people, when they just go, they just walk up to the desk of the police officer and start laying their complaints. They are not trained to handle such issues. So they will trivialize the issue. But when you ask for the proper appropriate officer, if a human rights officer, a family support unit, or a juvenile welfare officer, that officer is trained. I've attended trainings with police officers, and I know that those officers are seasoned, especially here in Lagos. They already know what the importance of such offense. So they would take it very seriously, as opposed to meeting just any police officer. It's just like meeting a lawyer who is not really passionate about women's rights issues. You get my point?
Yes.
Or meeting someone who is not in the development world. The passion there and the seriousness of how they will take that offense would be, you can't really wait compared to how. So it's advisable that if you have to go to the nearest police station, ask for a family support unit desk or a gender desk, or human rights desk, or family or juvenile welfare desk.
Okay, sometimes some people, like somebody said, he said sometimes why people don't speak up is that they think their identity sometimes are not protected. So now, are you giving assurance for protection of identity on this whenever someone speaks up on violence against them?
One of our motto is confidentiality.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Anybody taking, I think I've sat over more than 100 cases. Today is my, I was called to bar in 2013.
Oh.
So today is my anniversary.
Congratulations.
So, and since 2015 I joined FIDA, I've been doing human rights work. So, and I can't imagine, most times I can't even recall the faces of the clients I've sat before, or I've had to listen to their matters. So the issue of confidentiality is very important, because it can be anyone. It can be anyone.
Okay.
So the best thing you can do for that person is to, keep their information confidential. The only person you can reveal, we are advised to reveal such information is if there are other teams that are going to be part. For example, if a social worker takes up a case now, the social worker will have to reveal the information to me as a lawyer, because I will be following the client to court. The social worker has to reveal to a medical practitioner, because the doctor would also be examining the client and would need full information. Yes.
Okay, now, how long does it take for prosecution of what is it called? For prosecution,
matters,
yes, of this like kind of matters? Because sometimes, too, people are afraid that when they report to police and the rest of them, that it takes time. But some people will say it's better late than never. So how long does this take?
Our judicial system is trying. We have to give kudos to our judicial system, especially here in Lagos. I know that cases, max 1-2 years, were good. The only thing that would delay a case is if the survivor is not willing to come and testify in court, which is usually the case, because most times cases are being transferred from the police station to the court, and we can't find the survivor to continue the case, because without the witness or the evidence of the survivor, the case is as good as dead. So, and the courts always has that magnanimity to keep adjourning the cases, hoping that one day the survivor will show up. But justice is a two-way thing. Justice for the survivor as well as for the defendant, who is the alleged perpetrator in the case. So most times they keeping with hope that and if the survivor doesn't show up, they discharge and acquit and that's where you say, oh, they did not do anything in that case. You hear things like they did not do anything. But really, the court has been waiting 2 years, sometimes even 3 years, just to ensure that justice is properly served.
So in conclusion, what would be your advice to the general citizen? Maybe first to the male gender, before we talk about the female gender. What would be your advice? Because what we are talking about, this is, when you look at it, it sounds easy, but in practice is a heavy offense, because when you talk no excuse for violence, because when we talk about no excuse, so what would be your advice to the other gender first, the male gender, before we talk about the female gender?
Stay away from all forms of gender-based violence, all forms of abuse against women and girls. And then if you have been abused as a child, because some boys have been abused or some men have been abused, seek help. There are counseling services available. I said Warif is available. Checheyara also offers counseling services for boys, and it's free of charge. So and their office is at Bagada. You can approach any of these institutions and get help. Speak up. There are men groups that you can join that would offer healing and counseling services. That way, people, because most times when you apprehend the perpetrator, you said, oh, this thing happened. My nanny or my auntie defiled me when I was a boy, and since then I've been lusting over it, and I just can't do without So things like that. I think the first thing is that they should examine themselves, see if they need help, and access those help. From there, we can now take it further. And then any guy, stay away, because in Lagos, not in this Lagos, they are very, very serious about it. I've been in court just because the guy put a finger, life imprisonment. It was a finger, and he was given a jail term of life imprisonment. So they are very, very serious in Lagos State. A guy, he just said because he lifted the girl, he was already serving 4 years. The case was already, and he was in Kirikiri 4 years before they even granted the judgment and found him innocent. So it's true, and it didn't happen, but you're already in prison. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, time is going, meaningful time that you would have been productive in life, and then you're there wasting it just because of a silly act. So the best thing is to stay away from all forms of sexual abuse or gender issues that will land you. When you see a girl, don't grab her in the marketplace. Don't go hitting her bum. Lagos is not smiling. And
this thing is conversation. When we talk about this, I think I just hope that some of them are listening, especially in this area on this Lagos Island. The way I witnessed a day, a lady just turned and slapped a guy, and when the guy wanted to retaliate, a lot of people blamed him for just touching the girl. Was just trying to drag her to a shop.
Yeah.
So the girl turned and slapped her. But in the other hand, is that a case of self-defense or taking matters into her hand?
Self-defense now.
Oh, okay. Now,
but I won't encourage that she does that, of course. But this is like a reflex.
Yeah.
And this thing has been bottled up. You hear it every day. You see it. Either it happened to a friend or to a sister or to a colleague. So more like everybody is at guard. Or everybody's antenna is what as in don't near me. you get that vibe. So things like that. Men should be very wary about things.
And for the female gender, what would be your advice?
See something, say something, and do something now.
And that's a good way to leave it on the show this morning. And we most sincerely thank you, Barrister Cynthia, for coming on the show and educating us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
The 30 minutes was well spent, and well spent, and a lot has been learned. I will hope to see you when next you are available on the show. Okay, Lagos. That's the size of the package this morning. Join us again next week. Don't forget, the 16 days of activity is still on. The grand finale will be on the 10th of December at the Law School Complex. So we'll make sure we'll bring that program to you on that 10th of December. Just keep listening to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio. All thanks to Sandra, our producer. And from me and Osike Chimezie, it's goodbye and do have a lovely day.